always a relentless, compassionate attempt to bring them face to face with the truth so they could see their real need to know God. In this case, the religious leaders, they were deceived. Their hearts had been deceived. They thought they were enlightened, but they were darkened. They thought they knew God, but their heart were eons away from God, because God, in the person of Jesus Christ, is in their midst talking to them, and they're accusing him of having a demon and casting out demons by Beelzebub, the prince of demons. They make all types of accusations against him, which is evident that they really don't know God. They don't have a comprehension of what it really means to have a relationship with God. Are y'all listening to me? Religion is dangerous. And church folk can be some of the most dangerous people when they have religion that is not linked to a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. Religion will give you a sense of self-righteousness. I'm better than you because I don't smoke blunts or snort cocaine or a toad on the crack pipe. I don't do none of that, so I'm better than you. That's what religion will tell you. But a relationship with Christ will so enlighten your heart, it will show the serpents and the demons that crawl down on the basement of your soul in your thoughts. You don't do some things because we're too scared to do it. We ain't got enough courage to do it. Religion can be dangerous, but a relationship with Christ always causes us to be balanced. It always causes us to be balanced. We understand that we are what we are by the grace of God. We're not drug addicts because no one gave us the right drugs. We're not drunks because we didn't take the next drink. We're not whoremongers, adulterers, pimps, or prostitutes because God, by his own grace, kept us from the line. Had we stepped over a certain line, where would we be? Religion is dangerous. And what the church needs to be are the blood-washed people of God who understands it is by the grace of God and his grace alone that save wretched, vile, debauched sinners like us. And we stand where we stand only because of the grace of God. Religion without a relationship with Christ is dangerous. These men had religions, and they were the most dangerous people in town. They were having people stoned. They were summoning people before the Sanhedrin and bringing people to court because they violated some rule that they thought was important. And so now they encounter Christ, and they're trying to trap him. And so what the Lord does, let me see if I can help these brothers. And so listen to them talk and listen to the whispering and the accusations, and having divine omniscience, the ability to read their minds, Jesus speaks into the darkness of their minds. So he spoke a parable unto them. In Luke chapter 15 is really a trilogy. It's 3 parables with one big idea that Jesus links together like 3 expensive pearls. All the 3 parables have the same main message, the same main idea. How do you bring joy to the heart of God? How do you bless the heart of God? So he opens up by telling the story of a sheep that is lost. He enters into their world because shepherding was a major occupation, so this would speak to the men and to the boys. He said, which of you, we had 100 sheep and one of them got lost, wouldn't you take the 99, put them in a safe place, and go find the one that was lost? Because a responsible shepherd would never allow the sheep to be lost. If a shepherd lost a sheep, if the sheep had not been attacked by a predator, he had to bring back blood and a carcass to show it wasn't because of carelessness. It wasn't because I was irresponsible, it's because I was overwhelmed by a ferocious beast. So he said, which of you having 100 sheep, if you lose one, wouldn't you leave the 99, go and find the one? When you found the one, you'd drape the one sheep around your shoulders, and you would come back and you would call your friends and say, rejoice with me. My sheep that was lost has now been found. The lost sheep is ignorantly lost, but he's valued by the shepherd. People today are lost, and some of them don't know they're lost, but they're still valued by God. God values people, for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. God demonstrates his love toward us, and while we were filthy, vile sinners, he sent Christ to die for us. The sheep was ignorantly lost, but still valued by the shepherd. Someone needs to hear that message this morning, that you are still valued by God. It doesn't matter what the people on the job say, your neighbors say, even your parents sometimes fill your head with a bunch of nonsense. You are valued by God. You count before God. Had you been the only person on the earth that was lost, God would have still sent Jesus to die on the cross, shed his blood for you because you are valued by God. The sheep is valued by the shepherd. The sheep is found by the shepherd, and the sheep causes rejoicing. He's trying to help them rediscover their humanity. You mean to tell me you can have compassion for a sheep and not compassion for an individual person, a human being that's created in the image of a holy God, and you're more like that sinner than you are like God, and you're more like that sinner than you are like a sheep. So he says the lost sheep was found, and the lost sheep caused rejoicing. He says, now I say unto you, there's joy in heaven over one sinner that repents more than 99 people that need no repenting. The church is celebrating all the wrong stuff. We got concerts, we got style shows, fashion shows, pastor's anniversary, church anniversary, women workers' day, bad workers' day, good workers' day. We just find some reason to get together, eat cholesterol, grease, fried chicken, all that type of stuff. But we don't rejoice. We ought to throw a party every time somebody gets saved. Every time there's a baptism, there should be the biggest party the church ever throws, because there's joy in heaven over one sinner that repents. He tells the second story, and the second story would appeal to the women and the girls in the crowd. He said there was a woman. She has a headband, a head necklace. This would be given to a young bride by her husband. They didn't give wedding rings. They would give a wedding band. It was worn around the head with 10 coins. If she lost one of the coins, she'd be heartbroken. It was given to her by her beloved. She valued the head necklace. She didn't want to go out in public saying that your husband gave you a necklace only had 9 coins in it. What kind of cheap brother is that? Or you mean he gave you and you've lost one already? So she tears the house up, cleaning, looking, trying to find it. The coin is carelessly lost in the house. But the coin is valued by the woman, lost in the house. That's the worst place in the world to be lost, is in the house. To be lost in the house. To lose something in the house. You know, I'm absent-minded. I know I'm absent-minded. I'm always trying to get routines and situations down to remind me to do things a certain way so I don't lose stuff. And my next to youngest daughter, Bethany, she always be following around behind me. Dad, you lose your keys. You see I'm looking for them. Don't give me your keys, y'all, because they will certainly get lost. There's something about, I'm trying to figure out, what is I lose keys so much? I don't know what it's all about, but I know it's somewhere down in my psyche. There's something about keys. I lose them all the time. Dad, are you looking for your keys? Are you trying to find your keys? And they lost in the house. It's a dangerous thing to be lost in the house.
Gotta preach.
And people that go to church every Sunday morning, and they are religious as a rattlesnake, and they're lost as a serpent right up in the house. In the house every Sunday morning, and they have deceived themselves into believing they've encountered God when they really haven't encountered God. They got religion, but not a relationship with God. The coin was lost in the house, but the woman searches diligently until she finds the coin. Now let me tell you this. You got to understand the Jewish culture. The Jewish culture during this time, they did not have the image of God as this loving, kind, beneficent, saving God. You know, God was a consuming fire. In the Old Testament, God slaughtered whole nations. In the Old Testament, one day a priest, he touched the Ark of the Covenant and he dropped dead because God said, don't touch it. They saw God as being this cosmic, capricious killjoy that just was rain on people's parade, and if you weren't righteous, God was going to slap you upside the head. Jesus introduces the God of the New Testament. And so they're listening to him and they're saying, what are you talking about? You mean to tell me that God would seek to save sinners? That God is concerned about the offscouring of our society? And that's exactly what Jesus was trying to communicate to them. The image you have of God is not the right image of all. Are y'all listening to me? That has happened today to a great deal and extent, is that people outside of the church often have the wrong concept of what God is really like. If God wanted to get us, he could have got us a long time ago, because we've done a whole lot of stuff that we should have gotten for. But God is long-suffering toward us. God is gracious. He is not willing that any of us should perish, but that all of us should come to saving faith in Jesus Christ. God is much more compassionate, much more caring, and much more forgiving than we could ever imagine. So Jesus is communicating there.